we typically think of vaccinations for babies and young children, right? Well, many adults neglect to protect themselves from serious infections. Dr. Bill Lloyd joins us now with our Healthy Living segment. So most adults were probably immunized as children. But then you say there are a lot of adults who probably never got those immunizations, and they should be, as adults, asking their doctors what they should get. Like what?
Well, there's a variety of them, Frederica. You know, in order to live longer and to live healthier, what do? We exercise, we lose weight, we stop smoking, but none of that compares to the power of having your immunizations up to date. So you do want to check with your doctor to make sure that you got all the childhood vaccinations you were supposed to get and many of the new vaccinations now that are available to adults. So we can break it down this way. Of course, you always want to get your annual flu shot, but there's some other ones. There's a chickenpox vaccine. Many adults have never had chickenpox before, Frederica, and you know what? It's a much more serious infection for adults compared to children. There's a variation of chickenpox we call zoster, a very dangerous rash that affects older people and inflames the nerves. There's a vaccine for that as well. We know about hepatitis A and B, and hepatitis B vaccine will protect you not only from the hepatitis infection, but even from liver cancer. For older adults, pneumococcus is an important vaccine. It protects you, obviously, from pneumonia and other serious infections later in life. And, of course, that tetanus booster. Everybody should make sure that they have a current tetanus shot within 10 years of their previous tetanus shot.
Really? So if I was immunized as a child, you're saying that I may need to revisit a tetanus shot right now because it may have faded over time? What might be some of the other immunizations I got as a child that may have faded over time, and it's time for me to get inoculated again?
Well, the tetanus one is the #1 on the list, but it's important to note that not all vaccines take. That is, you may have gotten a shot for measles, for example, as a child, but for whatever reason, the shot didn't work, and you may still not be protected. So it's always important to make sure that your doctors are aware of the shots that you've had and the shots that you need. And there's very, very simple blood tests that can determine if you're still susceptible to these very dangerous infections. You know, and the immunity does fade over time, and so it needs to be pumped up again. Also, as you get older, right, your susceptibility to different infections also changes. The pneumococcus is a great example of that. That's a vaccine that's only been out for a few years, and it will protect adults 60 and older from a very serious form of pneumonia.
And if you're 40 and over, there perhaps may have been some vaccines that were not available when you were children. So what would those vaccines be?
Oh, that's a great point, Frederica. Over the past 15 years, there's been an explosion of vaccines that weren't around when we were in school or as adolescents. And hepatitis A and hepatitis B is a great example of that. Everybody needs the hepatitis A, and depending on your lifestyle, depending on your occupation, you may deserve the hepatitis B protection as well. And that will afford you lifelong immunity, protect your liver, and as we mentioned, protect you from the possibility of developing liver cancer later in life.
Okay, so what's the danger if you're not getting these? Because I have to say, I don't know too many adults who are walking around saying, I better get my vaccination for shingles or even for hepatitis A or B.
We need to keep up on our vaccines, and the reason is if you went back and looked at the great medical advances over the past 100 years, insulin, antibiotics, cardiac bypass surgery, none of that compares with the power of immunizations. More lives have been saved and more people have been spared serious infections, and people have lived longer only because of the power of getting those vaccinations. So for adults 30, 40, and 50, there are vaccines out there now that weren't available when you were younger, and for those that may have had a drop in their immunity since the time they had their first one, they may need a booster. And for adults older than 40, they have to start thinking about other infections like shingles, which came from childhood chickenpox, and again, the pneumococcus infections. Both have brand new vaccines that are available. When you go in for your annual doctor's check, say, hey, how are my vaccines doing? Do I need any new immunizations?
All right, Dr. Bill Lloyd, thanks so much. Appreciate it, and thanks for helping us.
Hey, real quick, Frederica, real quick. Yes. No, real quick. I have to tell you from now on, I want to be referred to not as Dr. Bill, but as Grandpa Bill. That's right. I'm the first-time grandfather today. Keaton Patrick Lloyd, born in McKinney, Texas, 7 pounds, 15 ounces. Woo! Will and Sylvia, we love you, and welcome to the CNN family.
Oh, that's fantastic. Congratulations. Glad that all are doing well and healthy, and thanks to you, Dr. Grandpa Bill.
We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks so much. Appreciate that.